and Jeremy Jones were quite correct to tip Poland, but even though they are favourites, they're by no means certainties, because Hong Kong China, represented by Lo Ho Sum and Robbie Capito, they could easily progress here. I'm not going to say cause an upset, because it wouldn't be that much of a shock.
9-ball is on the rise. We'll see more and more tournaments.
Poland to break.
On the rankings on our tour. And these two guys, well, who are not breaking, Hong Kong China, Lo Ho Sum and Robbie Capito. Lo Ho Sum, wonderful run at the World Pool Masters, just losing out. Man at the moment, filler. And Capito's had some big wins in the singles events as well, but I think Team Poland have probably just got the edge in this match, a little bit more experience under these bright lights. But you never know, Phil. You just never know.
Yeah, especially if we're going to see a preponderance of dry breaks. We saw plenty of them yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the break rule this week so far. Obviously, we've not seen all the teams play. We've seen SVB, the greatest breaker Pool's ever seen. Even he was struggling to control the cue ball, but this is what Pool is about right now. It's about the push-outs, the safeties, the vision, the flair. Looking forward to Great Britain playing tonight, Phil. Not so much just the Pool match, but at least we'll be able to understand them.
Yeah, the players are mic'd up, so if they speak in English, it certainly helps us. Of course, Alex Laley, the European Mosconi Cup captain, he speaks a zillion languages, so he's okay. He can always interpret, but we are struggling.
Safety shot was a little shy of pace. That's understandable. First shot of the tournament. Trying to get the cue ball over towards this 8-ball. There you see. He's got a couple of balls to hide behind. Kick shot should be pretty easy for Poland, but often you've just got to play simple safety shots. You're not always going to get that cue ball jammed up on another ball.
Wojciech Szewczyk, 4th on Pool's money list this year.
He was always going to go close to potting the ball. He didn't make the ball, and then the rest is kind of out of his hands. That's just part of the game. We can't control all these Pool players. You get good rolls, you get bad rolls. Doesn't really faze these guys anymore because they've seen it all, they've done it all, they've got the t-shirt. He's trying to hit on top of the 1-ball, so as Capito is looking at this, the right-hand side of the 1, that will offer distance, and there's a lot of balls on the table, so good things can happen. Hit it a little bit too thin. He wasn't trying to pot it, he was trying to play the 1 onto the rail just for the distance.
Whatever occurs today for Capito, it's less of a dramatic entrance for him than when he played at the UK Open. He was suffering from COVID-19, thought he'd got to miss the trip from Hong Kong, but he got negative results, was able to board a flight. He arrived the morning of day 1, dashed from Heathrow across London, got there with about an hour to spare, immediately played, and in the end he went reasonably deep at the UK Open.
Tricky shot this because he's hampered by the green 6. I'm just wondering if he's going to play the cue ball off 4 rails, swing it round, come off that top rail. Let's have a look. Is he going 4 rails? He's done 3 and he's played this well. Even if it finds the rail, he played it well indeed. It was all about making sure he left his partner a shot, and they could see he was striking down on the cue ball. That's going to settle any player down in the event. Just feel like this is the key shot in the rack now. If they can get good on this 4 ball, the pink 4 ball, and it goes in the left centre, so that's even better. So this is a great chance now.
Yeah, Poland are the 15th seeds, Carl, but I'm sure you would agree with me, they aren't the 15th best team here. They're much more lofty than that.
Yeah, they've really come of age as Poland. They've got a lot of good players now. Of course, they could only have one team in this year's event. But there's a lot of strong players over there. And that's changed about 12 years ago. Went over to Poland playing in a team event. We actually played Poland. I can't remember what round it was. I don't know if it was the first round, second or whatever. But we was happy with the draw. We thought, well, we can't lose. Now, well, we might have a different mindset now.
Yes, it's a real feather in the cap to represent Poland because, as Carl said, they've got an embarrassment of riches. Daniel Maciol, Karol Skawersky, Victor Zielinski, one of the hottest players in pool, and the list goes on. If I've forgotten anyone, I apologise.
Yeah, it kind of all started out with Babika, didn't it, Phil, back in the day? He seemed to be the trailblazer for the Polish pool players. Bit of a heavy contact, that's why the cue ball didn't draw back another foot. But Fortunski's one of the best potters on tour, so he should take care of this one. Personal preference, swing the cue ball off 3 or play high ball off 2. There you see he's getting it off the 3rd. And the first one goes to Poland. Good finish in the end.
Yes, don't mess with Mieszko Fortunski, a real coming force in the world of pool. Getting a lot of good results recently, including semi-finalist at the World Pool Masters in Gibraltar. Filled him with confidence. And no doubt the way they've won the first rack has filled the Poles with confidence. There's Fortunski. In Gibraltar, to get to the last 4 of the World Masters, he defeated Jason Shaw, Aloysius Schiap and Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz.
Yeah, they were the last 3 balls of the rack, but the big shot in that rack was the 2 ball from Wojciech to spin it round to get on the 3. That kind of opened up rack 1, and they lost in the first round in 2021, Phil.
Yes, to Kuwait. I think for Fortunski there's an element of revenge here, you know, because I've talked about his World Masters exploits. Well, they came to an end in the semi-finals against Lo Ho Sum, beaten 7-5.
Rack 2.
I don't think it's an exaggeration to say if they wanted to, Poland could field 3, maybe 4 highly competitive teams in this tournament.
Fortunski breaks the way, in my eyes, pool players should be breaking. He goes right down the nose and tries to park the cue ball in the centre of the table. No silly cup breaks and things like that. Just breaks the way you should do. And he's made a couple of balls. There you see the cue ball hopping back before it stops dead. And what are we faced with here? Let's have a look. After the break shot, you do get a little more extra time. We're playing with a 30-second shot clock, so the opening shot of every rack, you do get a little bit more time just to weigh up your options, and we've had a good chat, so let's see what he's going for. Playing safe. Cue ball over towards the 8. 3 on the bottom rail. Speed looks good. And that's a nice shot. Not easy to play that type of shot when you're still getting a feel of this TV table. Pretty decent crowd in today as well. And it's absolutely scorching outside, isn't it?
And the forecast is for the temperatures to rise up until the warmest day of the week on Friday.
This is Low Ho Sum. Got to the final of the World Pool Masters this season not long ago over in Gibraltar. Lost to Joshua Filler in the final. Very good player. Sort of come of age just this year, really. Looked a little bit edgy at the World Championships on the TV table, but he's settled in well. He's gone for the bank shot. Jump bank, it's close. It's gone. What a shot. He's got to be tempted at the bank shot now on the 4 ball. It looks pretty set up. It's going to go close. Look how much he had to get there. Height on that. He was so close to the 8. It's going into a nice wide pocket. Thought about staying up, but we do say this a lot on the opening couple of days of any major tournament. The balls are going to slide, and look at this. It's exhibition pool at the moment for Hong Kong, China. This is why 9-ball is such an exciting game to watch, because you see so many of these shots, and over the years I've been guilty of it as well. We've talked about tightening the pockets up, but you can't go too tight, because if you do that, you're taking away all these type of shots, and this is what the game of 9-ball is about. Of course, this is a very easy shot for these players, but in Scotch doubles, just make sure you don't do anything silly with the cue ball. Just leave your partner a shot, just like this. You don't have to get straight and close on the 9. Just make sure you leave your mate a shot.
Hong Kong, China wins the round.
That's what we're going to see during the course of this match. Thrust and counter thrust. Both teams have got every reason to be full of self-belief. They've had a lot of pool, they've had a lot of experience and exposure playing on the centre stage at these Matchroom events now. They're used to the 30-second shot clock, they're used to the way the tables play, used to the TV cameras, and I think we're going to see a really keenly contested affair. Now that was the shot that opened up the rack, wasn't it? The jump bank on the 3. As they say in snooker commentary, wiped its feet.
Yeah, it was the sheer height he had to get on the jump shot. It was so close to the 8. And then followed up with another bank shot, and what a way to get your first rack on the board.
And I think for these two, Robbie Capito and Low Ho Sum, there's an extra layer of motivation, because recently the Hong Kong Sports Institute, well, that was threatened with a loss of funding for Q Sports, and if they were to return back to their country clutching the World Cup,
Rack 3.
Maybe that would lead
Hong
to
Kong, China
a
to break.
change in
1 rack each.
minds and heart.
That was a nice break. You could see he controlled the cue ball nicely, and whenever you leave the cue ball in the centre of the table off the break, you're going to give yourself more options a higher percentage of the time. And that's because you can just see all over the table, all angles. And he's been blessed with a shot on this 2. The brown 7 ball looks like it's going to be the key ball in this rack, just purely and simply because it's kind of tied up. Yeah, there's a combo on the 8 available. That's something that we can look at in a moment. Gonna need an angle on this red 3 ball as well. Cue ball looks like it's running into a bad spot for Capito. Needed more angle. He needed a lot more angle.
Extension call.
Oh, he's played that really well. Full spin shot with left spin. Nicely done.
Back in 2018, when he was only 17 years old, Robbie Capito raised eyebrows by beating Eklund Kachi at the World 9-Ball Championship. He turns 21, does it, Capito, on Sunday. I can't think of a better present, a better coming-of-age present than the World Cup of Pool trophy. And it's not an impossibility with these two, I can tell you.
Well, you can just tell that Capito is on song at the minute. Every shot he plays is leaving low ho sum perfect. Couldn't put the cue ball any better for this combo.
I suspected that these two Welcome back to Brentwood, the home of Matchroom. Promoters extraordinaire when it comes to pool, taking the game to new heights.
Leading 2 racks to 1.
The Polish fans here on day 2 of the World Cup, a little anxious early on because their team trails Hong Kong, China 2-1. It's a race to 7.
A good break off, isn't it? Controlling the cue ball good enough. This time 3 balls. Can he chop the 2 in the right centre? How thin is that going to be for Hong Kong, China? Or can he play it in the corner? Into the corner may bring a possible scratch, so there's a bit of work to be done here, but often a rack is usually decided on 1 or 2 shots, and this looks like it's going to be the key shot. Only 6 balls are left on the table. They're all in open space.
This shot looks like being the key to the rack. Check side applied off the second cushion. The key in the lock, and it fits.
Capito's looking good, isn't he, in this match? Every shot he's played, the balls have gone in clean. The cue balls just come nice for his partner on every shot. Just wants an angle on the 6 ball, any angle. Signalling for the cue ball to slow down, but he's fine there. He's got options here. He can swing it round off 2 rails, play for the brown 7 in the left centre, which is probably the shot he will play.
More perceptive as usual, Carl. Capito does look good, doesn't he?
We're going to be a little bit picky. Maybe that's a hair short of pace. But it's still okay for Low Ho Som here. Still an easy shot to get on the 8. He's under it a little bit though. I thought he was going to play for the 8 in the top left pocket. If you're playing for the bottom left, just hit the cue ball hard low. It could go anywhere up table and leave yourself a shot. So that's a mental error.
Extension, please.
Yeah, that positional shot was anywhere but short.
Even if the cue ball would have landed on the kitchen line or the bulk line, he would have left the pot. So this is a thin one. He's playing well enough to tell us he's going to take care of this, but you never know. And again, it's in, and a little bounce off the rail. He's going to make this unmissable. It's been a strong, strong start.
It would be wrong for the Polish to have pre-match a defeatist mentality, but human nature would surely dictate that they would look at the draw and think, why us? This is one of the toughest first-round draws a seeded team could have. Low Ho Som and Robbie Capito have got a lot of experience on the international stage, and what's more, their careers are very much on the upward curve.
It was a beautiful camera angle of the break. You could see the back arm was going up towards the sky, and then as the cue went through, you could see the brake shaft bend.
It's a very interesting section of the draw these two teams find themselves in. Poland, the number 15 seed, could come up against the number 2 seed in the last 16. It's right at the foot of the draw, actually. USA already through with that comprehensive 7-1 win over Canada. They await the winner of this one. I'll tell you what, it's a tough old draw that for the USA. No
Hong Kong, China to break
easy
within 3
assignment
racks to 1.
first up, and it won't be second time out either, regardless of the opposition.
Cue ball again on the break. Been a bit unfortunate because the 2's dressed up over on the left side. Can bank it in the right centre, but how do you get the cue ball back up table? You're going to have to hit this with a lot of pace. Can play safety as well. Could maybe try and get the cue ball up towards the 3. But he's feeling good, isn't he? Decided to go for it. Always going to be tricky to get the cue ball back up table. Is this the chance Poland have been waiting for?
Extension call.
Bank shot into the bottom left is on, but that is not easy to get. The 4 ball's in the middle of the table, so he would have position. It's a big shot. He's not taking it on. He's just splitting the balls. It was never going to be easy to get the cue ball behind the 8, but just biding a bit more time.
Capito's been playing the game since he was 2 years old. Bought a mini table from a toy shop. And he played in a pool room for the first time when he was age 5.
Extension,
So
please.
already at the age of 20, soon to turn 21, he's something of a veteran. Born in Hong Kong, of course, but both of his parents were of Filipino descent.
There is a lot of strong world-class pool players at such a young age. Gone for the bank shot. And what a shot. This has been a high-standard, quality match so far. Poland was under pressure. Fortunski fires the bank in.
It was a spectacular jump bank on a 3 that turned the momentum in favour of Hong Kong China in rack 2. I'm wondering whether the bank we've just seen from Poland will do the same for them.
Playing for the 8 in the side. You could see him just signalling, so he's going to play 2 rails. And this is going to come round very nice indeed. If this is dead straight, it may be he's going to leave Wojciech a trickier 9, but he's down pretty quick. Maybe he can force over. Yeah, he's fine.
Poland wins the rack.
This match is panning out exactly as we anticipated. Quality stuff. Hard to predict a winner. Poland reducing the deficit to 3-2. Robbie Capito on the left, Loho Sum on the right-hand side. They knew they'd got a tough assignment even before they lagged off, and I think the fifth rack has given them reason to believe that the Poles will be tough to shake off.
Yeah, it was that bank shot from Fortunski. You 3-1 down, it's a race to 7, it's a short race. We know this in the opening 2 rounds at this level. And if he misses the bank, the chances are they're 4-1 down against the break. So that's just kept them in this match.
The stakes here are very high indeed. Not just financial, prestige and all of that, legacy, but the actual greenbacks on offer are substantial. It's a $250,000 US total prize fund. All teams are guaranteed a slice of the pie. But look at the champions. They will receive $60,000 US between them. Poland have never won this, but they have come close. Got to the final 10 years ago.
You would have loved the 1 ball to have fell this time, just because the perfect on the 2. And whenever the ball is right in the pocket, it can always be a little bit tricky. But because of where the 2 is, that probably makes his shot a little easier. He's probably gonna, he's got 2 options. Drawing straight back, don't like that. He's better trying to stun over to the left side of the table. Use that left rail. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Cue ball needs to slow down. This is going to dress up nicely. Good shot for Chusky. Oh, I don't think we've seen one mistake yet, have we, Phil? Every shot has been perfect, I believe.
Well, we were talking, weren't we, about Fortunski's win over Jason Shaw in the first round at the World Masters, 7-2. And really, apart from missing a 2-ball, a much simpler 2-ball, this one, by the way, than the one that Shaw missed, apart from missing that, he didn't do an awful lot wrong and was heavily beaten.
You always see pool players trying to play into big areas. That's why he's playing off 2 rails for the pink, 4 in the right side. He has underhit this, but it was such a big target he could land in. Wojciech's gonna have to play a good shot here though. He's got a pot. I'm not saying it's a difficult pot, but he's playing it into a semi-blind pocket. Ideally, if he can cue down on this and miss the 5, he may be okay. But maybe he's looking at running into it. Well, he's queuing down a bit, is he? Difficult to tell at the minute. Well, he's definitely queuing down, so he's trying to just miss this. Oh, I don't understand what he's played there. For me, if you're going to run into the 5, it looked like you could just play a flat cue and just roll through. Thought with him queuing down, he was trying to miss it and draw it off the top rail. So it's a mistake. The first mistake we've seen. But they're still at the table. Going to need a good safety shot. Ideally, you want that cue ball jammed on top of the 8 ball, but it's never quite as easy to achieve that as what it may look.
Extension call.
But he has got some form of a hook, hasn't he? Because Loho Sum's got the jump stick. So it was good enough. Look at the height he's got to get on this here. Just playing for distance. Needs the 5 to slow down. It's not gonna. It's not gonna. It's, well, is it? Is it? I don't know. It's tough to see from here. Looks like he can pot it.
I'm pretty sure he can.
The only thing is, it's not going to be easy to control the cue ball, so that is the only little bit of hope for Hong Kong, China. It's all about this cue ball. Let's watch where the cue ball finishes. Oh, he's had to run into the 9, and he's going to be delighted with the outcome. He really is. It was a smart move, though. Just make sure you pop the 5 and pray it's your day.
Yesterday, day 1 was notable for a whole sequence of one-sided results. This is not going to be one-sided. And from what we've seen so far, it could go to the wire.
Poland win the right.
What we know for sure right now, Poland and Hong Kong, China. Before the start of this tournament, pool enthusiasts might have taken a look at the odds on the first round matches and put together an accumulator of the teams they thought might progress.
3 racks each.
This, I'm sure, wasn't on a lot of accumulators because it's so difficult to work out who's going to win. We're no wiser now.
Table definitely seems to be breaking a little bit kinder today. And what I mean by that is the wing ball seems to be flying straight in. Everyone's hitting them good as well. That's got something to do with it.
Yeah, the break was inconsistent yesterday, wasn't it? Ko Ping Chung, had it not been for the pink 4-ball dropping into a centre pocket on its last revolution, he alone would have had 3 dry breaks in Chinese Taipei's victory.
Za siódemkę.
Za piątkę. Nie, tutaj biał.
A za piątkę. Aha, no.
Sporo bił.
Tak delikatnie, tak?
No, delikatnie. Nie wiem, czy to jest dobry pomysł.
No, nie wiem. W sumie to jest ciężko sobie wymyślić. Ja myślałem jeszcze, żeby jedynkę tam wysyłać białą za piątkę, ale to będzie blisko. Chyba ciężko tak.
No, ciężko.
Minimalnie.
Mogę też wbijać, ale nie mam gwarantowanej pozycji. Tu biała zahaczy 8.
Extension call.
To co?
Chyba to,
Najlepiej
no.
czujesz.
Chyba to.
You're allowed 1 extension per rack. That just gives you that little extra time. And this is the big thing with Scotch doubles. Wojciech's shot. He's at the table. He will fancy a particular shot. And Fortunski might come to the table and just fancy something a little different. And I think the big thing with that is you've got to play the shot you want to play. Otherwise, well, it often goes wrong. He hasn't got the hook, so Capito's down pretty quick. He spotted a shot. Well, he's back up.
Extension call.
And he's called his extension, so no team has any extensions left in this rack. I think the only part of the one he can hit, he's just a little bit worried that maybe it's going to run into the 8. If he could hit enough of this one where it's going to miss the 8 ball, sort of there, you would think the safety shot's easy, so he's undecided. Is the one going to bounce? It is, so it was a poor shot in the end. I think he might have played the bank as well.
The word solid is overused in sports commentary, but I always think it absolutely fits Mieszko Fortunski to a T. He's so solid, dependable. He has won on the Euro Tour, the Italian Open.
Staram się po prostu miękko wyhamować tylko.
And I think you'll agree, Carl, he's looking more and more at home in the Matchroom events.
Sorki, za duży kąt ci dałem.
Jest git.
Tak, super.
You're always after an angle, because from this purple 5 to the 6, an angle's crucial, but this time, because he's landed dead straight, he's going to be able to draw the cue ball right back in the same path. There you see. Need to bounce off this rail. That will make this next shot easy. And from 3-1 down, this has been a strong performance. Cast your mind back, Phil. It was all that bank shot of 3-1 down for Fortunski. If he misses the bank, they're going to go 4-1 down. He made it, and this has been the result.
Brawo.
winning matches 7-0, 7-1, 7-2. It's nice, but when you win a match like this where both teams are playing well, this gives you a lot moving forward in an event like this.
Poland wins the rack.
Showing a lot of heart, the Poles. They were, as Carl said, 3-1 down. Now, though, they have regained the lead. They had it 1-0. It's 4-3. I was mentioning before that 10 years ago, Poland got to the final of the World Cup of Pool. It was played that year in Manila, in the Philippines. It was Karol Skawersky, former World Masters champion, and Wojciech Szewczyk. They lost out narrowly in the final to Finland. No great history of success for Hong Kong, China in the World Cup, but with the talent at their disposal, I think that could well change.
They look like they're having a good time here in Brentwood. And of course they are, because they're watching their two guys perform to the highest of standards.
And on a day like today, Carl, that's the only possible sensible use of a scarf.
Rack 8.
Wear one of those
Poland to
outside
break.
and
Leading 4 racks to
might
3.
be overcome by the heat.
The random ball that we often see off the break. He's going to stop Poland running this rack straight away. If you're new to 9-ball after the break, the very next shot you can play a push out, so he can roll the cue ball wherever he wants. He can actually hit another ball, he can even pot the 9, that would go back on the spot. Then Hong Kong, China would come to the table with the option of playing the shot or passing it back, so you've got to be a little bit careful. He's actually looking at playing the kick shot straight away, I believe. If he is, he's trying to kick the 1 onto that right-hand side rail and run the cue ball into the 3.
No, może rzeczywiście jedynkę by trzeba było grać. No dobra.
Spokojnie sobie wymierz. Jak coś to weź.
I wouldn't necessarily play that straight away. You could maybe roll out into it. He fancies it though, doesn't he? He's having a good look. He's going to be playing this shot. It's just a little close to the top rail where he can't pot this ball. All he's trying to do is cross the cue ball over the left side of the path and stick the 1 on the right-hand side rail. It was a dangerous shot, and that is why. So the double kiss, it was a brave shot to take on. Not many players would have took that shot on, I don't believe. Not when you've got the rollout available.
All year, Robbie Capito's been gaining invaluable experience. During the winter months, he actually had a spell over in the States. Did well there, runner-up in the Scotty Townsend Memorial. That was in Louisiana, losing out to Alex Pagulayan in the final. And then he was third in the Oklahoma Winter Classic in Tulsa. Not the biggest events, those, but they're invaluable when it comes to the learning process for a young player.
Couldn't draw that any further than what he has done, because he wouldn't have left the potting angle for Capito, so that was nicely done as well. Ideally potting this ball, well, it doesn't look like he can avoid the 9. Is he drawing through the gap, or does he have to draw off the edge of the 9? Yeah, he's just drawing off the 9. And that's well done. He's played strong in this match as Capito. He really has. Every shot seems to have just been perfect.
Capito has a really strong junior pool CV. Twice runner-up in the junior 9-ball world championship. Twice winner of the Asian 9-ball junior.
Hong Kong, China wins the lot.
Capito was waiting for the cue ball. As soon as it came to rest, he got down, knocked it in, and Poland are being given a really tough workout. It was 1-1, but then it was 3-3. Now it is 4-4, and a match that beforehand we had high expectations for is living up to those expectations, Con.
Yeah, it's been the match of the tournament so far for me. I know we're still early days, but on day one we've seen all the favourites do what they should do and beat the second favourites. But this match, it's just the fact that everyone's playing good.
And I always like to see Capito and Loho Sum do so well, because there's so much riding on this for Hong Kong Q Sports. Now this is the 9-ball schedule coming up after this. We've already had a very busy year, as you probably know. The European Open will take place from the 9th to the 14th in Germany. Really looking forward to that. And then the big one individually, we go over to Atlantic City, Harrah's. It's the US Open, October the 10th to the 15th. Finally, the year is capped off with the ultimate crescendo, the Moscone Cup, USA against Europe in Sin City.
There you see it again, the cue ball's in the centre of the table. Open shot of this one. This is all about cue ball control from here on in. This is a great chance. And at 4-4 race to 7, we are now at the business end of this match. Any mistake from here now is going to be magnified. Averaging 2 balls on the break, Hong Kong, China. 1 ball on the break for Poland. This is all about staying still. You're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for your buddy. Actually killed that ball really nice as well. Played with loads of drag. Nice to kind of shorten the angle. Looking where the balls are laid out, the only real chance this has got of going wrong is this shot. If he doesn't get nice on the 5, and then 5 to the 6, 6 to the 8. This is Poland's only chance of getting back to the table. Couldn't put that cue ball better with your hand. That is absolutely perfect.
The one thing I really like about the Capito cue action, there's no hint of deceleration. He's very assertive through the ball.
Extension call.
Yeah, and he's left low hole another nice angle here. He's just maybe overthinking this. Play the natural shot, play the shot that comes to your mind first. He's desperate to try and draw this cue ball round, but it will slide on you. That might be okay upstairs on the practice table, but this is a little different down here because of the slide. He's got to watch this corner pocket on the scratch. He's got to watch this corner pocket on the scratch. Oh my word, what a mistake.
Falling.
And what a call. Call the King boys. What a call that was, mate.
You could see right at the beginning he was desperate to play that shot, but on this table, the slide off the rail is going to change the angle. How costly is that mistake going to be?
It looked for all the world as though the lead was going to change hands for the third time in the match. have we seen the pivotal moment in this terrific match between Hong Kong, China and Poland. Low Ho Sum scratching on the 6 as forecasted by our man with the crystal ball and the immense knowledge, Carl Boyes. From there, it was pretty much a formality as Poland, having been on the verge of a deficit, go in front at 5-4. 2 more racks needed
Poland to
for
break.
Poland.
Leading
and of course,
5 racks
they
to
break
4.
off in the 10th.
Another good cue ball control break there from Fortunski. Balls didn't really split though, did they? All kind of still in a bit of a cluster around the racking area, but at least they have a shot on the one.
Overall, I think the Polish duo have got to be happy with that break-off. Certainly the outcome.
These are always a little tricky. Big angle. Very easy to lose the cue ball over to the left side of the table if you don't control this cue ball well. Just sort of held it enough, didn't he? You could see it was dragging. Down quick, that tells me he can avoid cannoning the purple 5, which he can. Big shot coming up is the pink 4 to the purple 5.
Troszeczkę do przodu, nie? Tak, gdzieś na linię.
Minimalnie. No.
This is where, Phil, in this event, it's key you have a discussion, because Fortunski will prefer a certain angle on this next shot. So after Wojciech plays this one, he needs to make sure Fortunski is exactly where he wants to be.
Yes, and there's extra complexity when you've got a right-hander playing with a left-hander. Weekend before last, Shevchik won a very handy event in Bulgaria. So he's feeling good, and I think the scratch in rack 9 has just immeasurably lifted Polish spirits.
And you can see the 8 ball goes in this corner. And he has a nice angle on the 6, even though he's bridging over the 9, that doesn't matter. It's all about natural angles, this game of 9 ball, so you can just pop this, run through. And Hong Kong, China, the mistake from Low Ho Sum is going to prove costly. This is why you need to be playing winner breaks, because if it was alternate break, it may have been Hong Kong's break instead of Poland's, and the mistake could not be punished. This 9 ball to get on the hill. What a match this has been, Phil.
Yeah, you're right about the winner breaks format. Could not agree more.
Tak jest.
The error
Wins the rack.
from Hong Kong, China has been compounded there. So Poland find themselves on the hill. It is 6-4. They're 1 rack away from protecting the unblemished record of the seeded teams in this year's World Cup of Pool through what would be 7 matches. Carl was right there. Queuing over the 9 ball wasn't much of an issue at all because of the close proximity of the 6 to the pocket. So often in these short race matches, one shot sticks out in the mind as being the one that changed everything. And right now you can't help but zone in on the scratch on the 6 from Low Ho Sum.
Hong Kong China need to get to the table, but if they do, it's only 6-4, but they're going to have to come with something special.
Office taking nothing for granted. He's in a very
11. Poland to break.
hunched up,
Leading 6
worried
right
kind of situation in his chair. Just hoping that this break goes well and a roadmap presents itself.
It's a decent break. They've got a shot at the 2 ball. Where's the 3 ball going to end up? Oh, it's okay. This is a glorious chance for the match. Talk about being punished for the scratch. This is the ultimate punishment.
Well, the Polish fan must like that break off. He's afforded himself the opportunity to lean back in his chair. Oh, he's back where he was before.
It was just sheer the wrong time for Hong Kong China to make that kind of mistake at 4-4. It's been such a high standard of match, and you just felt someone was going to make a catastrophic error, and unfortunately it's come from Low Ho Sum. He's going to be sat there, he's going to be feeling guilty. If it was a singles event, well, yeah, he's going to be upset, but it's a lot easier to take.
As for Robbie Capito on the left, I've been really impressed. Not that Low Ho Sum has played a bad match by any means, far from it. Just that one crucial error.
Just having a good chat there, weren't they? You could see that, and that's just because
Extension call.
that is the only real chance Hong Kong China have got from the green 6 to the 8 is really only where this can go wrong. I mean, this is obviously very easy, but you just never know. It can only go wrong if you underhit position. And if you're thinking about underhitting it, maybe sometimes you end up overhitting it. Doesn't want to get too much right spin on this and scratching the right side. Oh, this is delightful. This is just perfect. It really is. He can actually hold and play the 9 ball in the bottom left. Or if he chooses to, he'll come over to the other side of the table and play it in the right. I think he'll probably just hold it. Decides to go over. Personal preference. What a performance this has been. We're 3-1 down as well, Phil.
As a collective, the seeded teams in this year's World Cup of Pool retain a 100% record. Hong Kong China pushed Poland hard. It was all about the scratch on the 6 ball in rack 9. After that, though, the Poles pulled away. Hong Kong China played well.